Okay, so this is part 2 of Behind the Scenes of It's Silent in These Halls, the animated reimagining series. Second part is going to be focused on the writing process, and yeah, just writing. So, I have been writing stories since I was a little girl. Literally, I remember when I was 5 years old, I made this picture book. It had no words, it was just a picture book, and it was about me and my family sailing on the sea. Literally, I remember that. I don't remember much about it, and of course I don't have it anymore. But yeah, that's what it was. It was like it was me and my family sailing on the sea. It was a picture book, and I remember when I was younger, I would write tons of little stories like that on construction and notebook paper, and that's kind of how my love for writing began. I always just loved telling stories and just sharing stories and stuff like that, and nothing really. I can't remember any significance, no person or thing inspired me to become a writer. I just wrote a story when I was 5 years old, and it just kind of stuck. So, and I've been loving it ever since. For when I was in school, there was a couple of years where I lost not interest, but I was so busy with schoolwork. And there's one story I had in my head, and that was all I was thinking about. And I'll touch more on that later on in the future, because that's gonna be a big thing in the future. But yeah, there was one story I stuck on it for a moment there, but it was only in my head. I could never put it down on paper, and now I finally did sort of put it. Again, I'll explain all that in the future. But yeah, so I've always wanted to. I've always been loved writing stories. So but where did my love of animation, 3D art, 3D animation come from? Video games. Just as long as I've been writing, I've been playing video games for just as long. I remember my cousin, she had a pink Game Boy, and I remember she brought it over. And Mario, Super Mario, I still have the cartridge. I still have 5 of my old Game Boy. I still have them till this day. But that's something I kept all this time. But yeah, she had the Super Mario Advance. I can finally play them again and get some nostalgia, going. But yeah, so that was that. And that's where I loved it. I was so fascinated by it. And I told my mother I wanted my own, so she got me one for either my birthday or Christmas, or maybe just a random day, I can't remember. And that's where my love of gaming started. So I started with that moment, and started with Mario. So Mario's my first introduction, probably most people's most introduction to video games, but Mario was mine. And ever since then, I've been a big Mario fan. I got into Sonic when I was in middle school, so I was a big Sonic fan for almost just 5 years late. I got into Sonic when I was in middle school. My first exposure to Sonic, the same cousin, she probably doesn't remember, but I remember. She had Sonic 06 on her Xbox. It was Sonic 06. I remember that title screen with the trees. I remember the hub worlds, the solely on the hub world. I remember it. So yeah, that was my first exposure with Sonic 06. I didn't know it until all these years later. I was like, that was the game that I was first exposed to. That was my first Sonic game. So yeah, I faintly remember that title screen, because I don't remember much title screens like that. So yeah, it was that one. But first Sonic game that I ever owned was Zero Gravity. I remember I asked for it for a birthday present. Middle school years, I got exposed to Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. I can't remember how, but I think I was listening to Kingdom Hearts a couple years ago, so we're now Kingdom Hearts fans. We got into Kingdom Hearts 2022. What's funny is I have a poster of Kingdom Hearts that I've had ever since middle school or high school. And again, I never played it through those years until I hit my adult years, when I finally wanted to get into Kingdom Hearts. And me and my sister were actually started with Kingdom Hearts 3. So we went backwards. We started with the third game first, and then jumped in order. First, second, third, and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Now, also, my sister and I, we're also Vocaloid fans. We're big fans of Hatsune Miku, Vocaloid, which again I got into it when I was in middle school. Again, I remember. Actually, I can tell you when I was first exposed to her. So I had an iPhone 4. I still have it. Something happened to the battery, so it's exploded. But yeah, on the App Store they had this Miku Flick game. and it's like 2 thumbnails. I saw this girl with turquoise hair. I was like, oh, she's so cute, she's so pretty. And that's where my love for Miku, like the Light Song, Last Night Good Night, Love is War, like all those were my first exposure. And then from there I saw the other Vocaloids, Meiko, Kaito, Renlin, and the other Vocaloids that weren't Krypton Future Media, Aoki Lapis, Galico, CU. There's this girl with purple hair that my sister likes. I forgot her name. There's a Chinese one called Luo Tiani. Like, there's like tons, and it's just so cool. Like, now I'm so happy that like I was a part of this fandom for like so long. So I've seen like the changes and shifts, which I'm not the biggest fan of what's going on with the Vocaloids right now, but you know. But yeah, we've been fans for like a long time. But yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, the lore of like me in video games, and that's why I'm a 3D artist, 3D artist, animator, because video games, they got me into it, and I've loved telling. I love story-based games, and I love all types of games. Kind of. I hate FPS games. I don't like FPS games. I don't really like. Every now I can play a simulator game. I don't mind them. I can play mobile games, but they're not my favorite. Let's just say I like almost any game. I should say that. But you won't catch me playing an FPS game. I can't. And horror games are kind of a no, because I played Until Dawn, but that's because I knew where all the jump scares were, and I really want to play it for myself. Which again, it was a whole new experience of playing for myself. Like, even though I knew what the story was, it still was really cool to experience it for myself. There were some parts that were kind of fuzzy, but for the most part, I did know, you know, about almost everything. So, almost everything. But yeah, that's kind of like where, you know, why I became a 3D artist, 3D animator, because yeah, video games. And why I love to write and yeah, tell my own stories. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. And I just want to tell you guys, if you guys don't know much about me, yeah, just a few things that I do love: Miku, Mario, Sonic, Final Fantasy, Rainbow High. I'm a doll collector. Me and my sister, we love dolls, but we still have our dolls. I'm a big fan of Rainbow High. Well, used to. Now they're going like in a different direction with the girls, with the line. I'm like, ew, I miss the old Rainbow High. Bring the old Rainbow High back. I miss the old Barbie. But me and my sister also, we love Barbie. Oh my gosh, how could I forget about Barbie? Oh my gosh, literally, I got like a whole like shelf of Barbie movies. We have them all. Well, all those on DVD, let's just say. All those on DVD, we have them all. Yeah, we were big Barbie fans. You know, got into it when I was in elementary school. Barbie. My mother, I literally, shout out to our mom. She would buy us every DVD the year it came out. Like, we would say, we didn't even have to ask. Like, when the movie dropped, we would tell her, hey, the movie coming out. And then she would get it, you know, because she knew we were big fans. And she was able to afford it and give it to us. And yeah. I was always so grateful. Still am grateful. Like, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm happy to own them all. And every year, my sister and I, we do like rewatches every year of the Barbie movies. Because these movies are timeless, they're endless. If you're not a Barbie fan, you just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know. So like I said before, writing at Silent East Halls kind of came from me sitting in class one day. I was bored. We weren't doing anything, and we had like 30 minutes left of class. So I was like, I'm gonna write. And like I said, the story was more of me kind of like envisioning me in the school I was in at the time. Getting trapped in school with this boy, because I put myself in Jave. So like, yeah, getting trapped in school with this boy, and this talking bunny. They just kind of came out of nowhere. There was no like concrete like the bunny just kind of came out of nowhere. I just kind of found it funny if a talking bunny just came out of nowhere and like started feeding them information of like what was going on. Like I said, Dayon was kind of inspired by multiple boys, not just one boy. I always just wanted a boy with dark hair to go alongside Jave. Like the school was inspired by my school I was in at the time. And Brenda Wallace and Cornell Wallace. I needed people to run the school, and that's why I thought of these two adults. They weren't inspired by anyone in particular. I think Brenda might have been inspired by this random woman I found from a Shutterstock image. I liked her black hair, and I kind of took that as like a inspiration for Brenda. So I think that's where that came from. Cornell, he wasn't inspired by anyone in particular. So yeah, that's where the origins of the original Silent Halls. Which again, like I said, you can still buy it on my website. You can find links to where you can buy it if you so please, if you're interested. So I was gonna keep them in the school, but I really wanted to, since I really wanted to make this reimagining more unique. And I was like, things always happen in the school, you know, drama, girls with powers, boys with powers, they always take place in the school. And I really wanted it to be more unique than, you know, a school setting. So I changed the setting to, at first it was gonna be a hotel. And like for like a good year, it's gonna be a hotel. I still have like old photos I can show of the hotel. Like, but yeah, and I scrapped that because the environment that I got for the hotel, it was way too heavy for my system. It was way too heavy, and to be honest, it was way too big for. Like, it was too much room, so I needed something smaller. So I was like, what's luxurious? What's luxurious? What's like grand but small that I can have the same take place in? And I thought a yacht. So actually, there was 2 yachts in the comedic short film I released last year. That was the first yacht, and then the second yacht is a different yacht for this new series that I'm using. But yeah, so that's why I came to a yacht. And it was the perfect setting. The open sea, I thought could give the story more ominous, like more like atmosphere. Being on the sea and like on the yacht can be like more like compact. So that's why I wanted a yacht. So James, I changed James' name to Jasmine because I found out that JAV is actually an acronym for adult entertainment. And I did not want my character to be associated with that, so I changed her name to Jasmine. That way it still starts with a J-A, but you know, Jasmine, so you know. And like I said, I scrapped Dayon. So Dayon and Cornell are the 2 characters that I scrapped. I scrapped Cornell because it was just like 100 times that I redid his character design. Literally like 100 times over, I redid his character design, and I was not happy with anything I created. And I was just like, you know, I'm gonna scrap him. I'm gonna scrap him or replace him with a female. So at least when I'm with a female, I can get her right like on the 3rd try. Because Cornell, I could never get right. He never looked the way I wanted him to. So I just scrapped him completely and replaced him with Carolyn. And when this series is gonna be released after the series is dropped. So yeah, but she's a witch just like Brenda. That's why Brenda and Carolyn look the way they do. So we wanted like, you know, kind of like, you know, high vibes. And then the Aftermath series, I'm gonna like have more witches, kind of like give that same like aura. So I really wanted that for my witches for my story. So that's why they dress the way they do. Carolyn went through like she went through like 3 different costume changes before I settled on the last one. Brenda as well, she went through like several. Oh, we'll talk about it in the character design. That's not part of the writing. We'll talk about it in the character design. And then Dayon, I scrapped Dayon for the same reason I scrapped Cornell. I just couldn't get him to look the way I do. But yeah, and I had to, when I was writing, these like the last minute changes that I did. When I was writing, I had to like rework the story a bit. So like have the girls have more chemistry between each other, like it's more like kind of like a sisterhood type of thing. Replacing Dayon, I needed the girls to act more, I guess like they were more like natural and cool to each other, like they're kind of like a family type of vibe. So basically the story is the exact same story. If you buy my book and you watch the series, because it's gonna be released before this be released, it's the exact same story, just different environment, 2 new characters. Dayon and Cornell aren't there. It has a conclusive ending. A little bit more action, and yeah, and it's animated. So yeah, so it's the exact same story, just different. Obviously, if you read the original, you'd know the differences. And because I did that for a reason. Like, the Silent Hills was never meant to be, because that's where I read wrong the first time, back when I was 16 years old, and I put in like Tokyo and Kane from the previous part. If you watch that one, Jared and Sydney. And then Vernon and Ina, like it was, I put in all those characters thinking I want to make this like a big, like fancy, like over the top ambitious project. This was never supposed to be that. It was always supposed to be a short, concise story, you know, just with a conclusive ending. And for the longest time, I never had an ending until now. So like, it feels really good to like finally, you know, have, you know, something concrete. I gotta wrap this up. But yeah, it was never supposed to be like a long story. It was supposed to be short and concise. And to the point, and just, you know, but also, you know, and of course, with this story being short, it doesn't leave much room for like character growth and character development, which is why there will be an Aftermath story to expand more upon the girls and whatnot. The name of the yacht, I named it Illusion Halcyon. It's inspired by a Ryan Farish album, because I love Ryan Farish. He's like, his music has been like a big inspiration for me as well. I love Ryan Farish, oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's basically it. But they can listen to this long. I'm trying to make this like under an hour. It's like 30 minutes. So if there's anything else I forgot, I'll put it in the character design portion, part 3. But that's it for the writing. So thank you so much for watching. See you in part 3. Talk about character design, character creation, and we'll dive more into the characters in that part. My arm is hurting, so see you in the next part.